Are we live? I don't know if I'm live or not. It says I'm live. I cannot. Hold on a second here. Oh, hi everybody. How you doing? I couldn't find the chat. Let's see here. I can't go back. Jenny, hi. Susan Ham, hi. From Michigan. Vicky, hi. Sir Screws a lot. Hi everybody. How you doing? I couldn't find the chat. Let me turn that volume down. Let me turn that. Let's see here. Let me turn this down. Vicky from North Carolina. Marsha, we can see and hear you. Yay! And Annette, Nikki, Nina B. You might be on the screen that says the video is private. Yeah, we'll see. Marsha. Okay. Anyways, this was just a test of my first live. I wanted to see if I could even do it, and looks like I can. Just before I started this video, I made my first. I think that's flying geese. This is my first one because you know I have all this green fabric left over. Lana, hi, how are you? So I made my first flying geese because this looked hard, but I found after watching several videos, it's actually fairly easy. So I want to do one of my next quilts is going to be flying geese. Maybe we'll see. I wanted to show you. If I'm stuttering a lot, it's because I got 8 things going on here, and I'm trying to figure it out. This is that finished wall hanging. I put the anchor in the boat. I put that as a border. So I think it turned out pretty good. Turned out fairly good for my first time. My binding is terrible. I watched about 5 videos on binding last night. Solitary Guy, how you doing? Ragdoll Alley. Anyways, I watched about 5 videos on binding last night, and the one that I liked was Natalie from Missouri Star. She takes glue and glues her binding, then folds over and irons it, and it stays in place. So I'm going to try that. I saw another video where they used Elmer school glue, as long as it's washable. So maybe I got that. So let's try that. What else? Oh, I went to the quilt store today and was looking up long arms. I'm not going to buy one. I was just looking at them. I thought that would be interesting. Joe, you're my arch nemesis. Anyways, my stalker is here. My grandson. Thank you. Oh, can't Ragdoll Alley caught you on a live, but can't stop as it's really late here in the UK. Looking forward to catching up tomorrow. I'm excited to see you. I mean, it just cracks me up to see that I can reach people around the world. Australia, I got a lot of people that watch from Australia, and I just thank you guys so much for watching. Sherry, you're you're somewhere near me. I hear I'm in Ohio too. Deb, hi Deb. So, anyways, the purpose of this video was really clear up some things. I wanted you to see my quilt. Maybe I'll show my little wall hanging. Uh, I'll show that again later on. I wanted to show you my little flying geese and really just uh, Scribbles. Yeah, he still wants my TV. Um, yeah. Hey Lisa, how you doing? And Mona, woo! All the big heavy hitters are out here tonight. I saw that. So yeah, I had a live, and I was like, I figure you're all probably over there watching that. So I I bought some more little rulers because I wanted to make these flying geese. So I got me a Creative Grids. You know, I got OCD. I gotta have everything matched. So I got this Creative Grids 4.5. I got a 3.5, and I got a 2.5. And I think I'm done buying rulers. But oh yes, Ragdoll Alley. Can't wait to get your buttons. I wanted to show you that. I got about 10 of them right here already. So I plan on doing that Thursday. I'm going to do another video. And what I figured out I'm going to do is I'm going to put a camera right here. And that way I can just slide the button underneath there and show the button. Um, oh, Sherry. Oh, Sherry. I know who you are. You got the Memory Bear quilts. Memory Bears. They are awesome. If I got the same person. Hey John from Florida, Central Florida. You're probably right, Marcia. I got this ruler right here. I bought this a long time ago. It's a 45-degree angle. I don't really have any idea what I'm going to do with it, but I bought it. Oh, what? Oh, okay, Nina. I've been going down there every day. That I talked to the postmaster today. They sort of they think I'm selling drugs or something. She says I got so many packages, and I'm like, they're buttons. Marcia, thank you. Joe, if you're still watching, I don't know if I'll have you over Saturday or not. Depends on how good you are. Uh, oh, he wants to put a button in the memory jar button. So, anyways, awesome. Marsha, I always like the letters. I'm going to ask though. I thought about this. What do you think? I thought about keeping it to, you know, 3 buttons or less. I mean, I don't. My goal isn't to try to fill that jar up immediately. My hope is that this could take years to fill up, and that's fine with me. Um, oh, yeah, cool. I've never tried those quilter select rollers. Um, I think you're hooked. Go ahead and empty the lot, Lisa. I've been spent. Look at me. I bought this. I bought this table. I bought this sewing machine. I bought that table. Um, I bought another one. I'm going to show you over here. What else? Yeah, I spent some money. Hey, Shelley. Hey, from Ohio back to you. What's Round on the sides and high in the middle. Ohio. Oh, Scribbles, he has a button. He was going to go to the thrift store and get it. He's got to figure out uh, what he's going to put down for the memory or what his goals are. Hey Tracy, I'll be mailing my button probably next week. That's fine. I plan on living a long life, so we have a long time, so no hurries, but yeah. I'm glad to at least see buttons. Mona, you're in Ohio too? Wow, I didn't know that. Hi Judy. What other questions do you have for me? Let's see. What can I've never heard of Big Mama or Big Daddy rulers. No, but there's so many out there. Have you considered doing a class for other retirees to your rec center? I haven't because there's a group of ladies at the community center that are 10 times better than I am, and they would just laugh at me. So I can be their motivational speaker, but uh, hey, Frog Zone, how you doing? You from the UK? Love it. That's on my bucket list. There's two things on my bucket. My bucket list is this long, but one thing that I want to do next year, not this year, next year I want to take a cruise, and I'd like to take a what do they call it? A cruise where you repositioning cruise, where you start like in Miami in Florida and then go over to the UK. And I thought that would kill two birds with one stone. I get to go on a cruise and I get to go to Europe. So um, where is my fabric? Where's Steve? Steve, here. Here, Steve. Here, Steve. Yes, I said your name. Okay, you know what this is going to cost me? This is going to cost me a treat. There you go. Okay, it just cost me a treat. Hey, Melanie from Nevada, welcome. I'm not even going to pronounce your city. I would have no idea. I'd mess it up. Hi, Connie from Florida, Tampa, Florida. Well, thank you. I sort of sometimes, after I record these videos and I upload them, I'm going like, that was so stupid. I should probably just delete it. Rena, I know that you're retired. Since you've started quilting on YouTube, what have you learned so far? Everything. Everything. I knew nothing about quilting before I started this channel. Matter of fact, that first half square, well, let me take it back. In the pandemic, I bought enough fabric because my daughter likes Hocus Pocus. And I don't know if you've ever followed Melanie Ham, but hey, Cynthia from Chicago, always a pleasure to see you. She liked Hocus Pocus, and I followed Melanie Ham, and Melanie Ham had a video on how to make a slip pillow cover. So I took the fabric and I made the pillow cover, and it actually turned out, I actually went and bought the sewing machine, brought it home, tried to figure out how to thread it, made the slip cover. It turned out really good for my first time. And then I got the bright idea that I wanted to start quilting. So I went down to a quilt shop and I bought some, what do you call those squares? Help me. Anyways, there's a bunch of squares you can buy. And if you've seen one of my first shorts, all I did was sew them together. And that was my first little quilt. And I made a couple half square triangles just practicing. But one of my first videos that you've seen sewing, that was my first, that was one of my first half square triangles I ever made. So basically everything that you see in these videos is pretty much, like I said, I made this one today. This was my first flying geese. I didn't make this online, but I'm going to make one on my next video. And yeah. No, not the fat quarters. They're just a charm pack. Charm pack is what I was thinking. Yes, Tracy, charm pack. Yes. And they were very expensive too, as I find out a lot of this stuff is. So, hi Karen from Oregon. Norma. Hi Norma from Idaho. What am I going to do with the wall hanging? I'm going to give this to Joe. Now, I've given Joe specific instructions to not have it show up in the dumpster. He says he won't. We will see. Thank you. Thank you. I thought this was a good. I checked it out. It's 4.5 by 2.5, and I think I learned how to do this from Jen from a Missouri Star the other day. I think that's who I saw doing that. Yeah. Karen, I want to make me. I want to make a barn. I've got a shed. I want to put one of those barn quilts on it. Right now, I just got a star. It was when I bought the house. There was I don't understand what the star represents, if anything, but there's a star on the side of my house. The Midwest seller. Hi, you're from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. There's a lot of Ohio here. Frog Zone says I use old pillowcases to practice my block. Saves a lot of swearing, and I don't waste that good fabric. You're right. I went to a thrift store yesterday. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm still having a problem with the difference between cotton and polyester or cotton polyester. Will you try the disappearing 9 patch? I just saw that on a. You know what? I am going to try it, but I didn't even know what a disappearing 9 patch was, Cynthia. I thought it was a magic trick. I don't know. Have you ever made a jelly roll? No, but I'm going to tell you, I thought about this today. I thought these flying geese would be perfect for jelly rolls because I think they're 2.5. Is that right? Is that how you make flying geese out of jelly rolls? Maybe. Scribbles, I understand. I was watching a thing about these sewing machines, and I saw where they were talking about back in the late 1800s, tailors were the ones that mostly sewed. You would not find anybody usually sewing except for tailors. And Singer wanted to sell a bunch of sewing machines, so he started advertising his sewing machines with women. And basically it was, look, it's so easy that a woman can do it. And then a bunch of women went out and bought all those sewing machines and then sort of took over the universe. And I think that's pretty neat. So, hey Scarlett, how you doing from Canada? I love Canada. Toronto was one of my favorite cities. That's the cleanest city. There's a castle there. What's the castle? It's right downtown. I thought that was fascinating. I went to that. Hey Scarlett, how you doing from Canada? I love Canada. Toronto was one of my favorite cities. That's the cleanest city. Oh, there's a castle there. I'm sorry about that. Let me see here. See if this is any better here. Let me see. Hello? Let me. I better not fool with that. Let's just go with this microphone today. But I will. That's why I was sort of testing this out to see how it worked. I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to go live today. Well, I was an electrician, Lisa. I wasn't an engineer. Um, but yes, because everything when you do stuff in electrical, everything has to be pretty well precise within a quarter of an inch. And I think that's what I found fascinating about quilting. Quilting, everything is pretty much, there's exceptions, is a quarter inch. Thank you. Frog Zone says I sound okay. Oh, let me see if I can turn that, mute that. There. Let me know. I muted it. Mona, you are who I look up to on going live. You and Lisa. I'm new to this, but I wanted to do a live with you, but I don't know. I didn't know if I can even go live. VRSM54. Hi. We're all on from Ohio too. Yay! Is there any quilt shows you go to in Ohio or in Kentucky? I plan on going to Paducah. If you've ever been there, let me know. I'd like to know if that's a good quilt show. I saw a quilt show in Cleveland, maybe, and I love Amish country. In one of my first video, I said I live near Amish country. Well, let me preference that. I live near Amish country if you live in Australia. I live near Amish country if you live in California. I actually live about probably 2 hours from Amish country, so it's not next door. But I love going there, and I love going to their quilt shops. So next time I go, I'm going to try to do a video up there of all the quilt shops. But they've got like a quilt hop up there I want to go to. Does any of you go to that? I love Louisville. Do you know Curfy's Paint? My aunt worked at Curfy's Paint. I think that was the name of it in Louisville. Oh, the Crafty Etsy, how you doing? I remember the first time I went to Amish country, I thought, oh yeah, Marsha, there's plenty of them. Then Pennsylvania, Ohio, and actually where I live 16 minutes from a Mennonite community. So yeah, they're all around. Like I said, I just admire them. They want me to give up what? I said no. But anyways, my story. I'm meandering. um, I thought I'd go to Amish country because I said, oh, they have no use for money. They're simple people. They just want to provide a good product at a fair price. And then I went up and looked at the prices, and I saw $1,500, $2,000, and I was like, nah, no, they're pretty well up to modern prices. Oh, Melanie, you live in rural Nevada. Do you happen to live somewhere between Reno and Las Vegas? Because I drove that about 2 years ago, and that is the longest road out in the middle of no place that I've ever driven. But it was fun. See little uh, tornadoes or dust devils out in the middle of the desert. Hey, Linda from Wells. Thank you. I I think most of my family's from Wales. If you go back 200 years. Hey, Lana, 82 young quilter. How did you get involved with quilting? Love your videos. Well, Lana, glad you asked that. I don't really know, except for the fact that when I was like 10, my grandmother watched me and my cousin for 1 week, and she quilted, and we were heathens. And I think to get us to settle down, she gave us scissors. She gave us scissors and had us like paper templates, and had us cut fabric out to those templates. And that stuck with me my whole life. That 1 week of just cutting fabric, and I have one of her quilts right here, and I just love it. And you know, that's where I sort of got the memory makers button thing. You know, do you have a memory of quilting with your grandmother, or I've seen some people say their grandfather or their mother? So that's where that sort of came from. But yeah, so I have that memory. I will tell you, in the 90s, there was Jo-Ann Fabrics, I think, on every corner at that time. There was a little store down the street, Jo-Ann Fabrics down the road from me, and they offered a quilting class. And I took the quilting class, and you know, they all looked at me like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm going to show you something. Let's see. I don't know. I don't have it with me. I have one right handy. But you know the little dog ears that you get? The first little thing that I made at that Jo-Ann Fabrics class, I came home and tried to make these half square triangles, and I kept getting this dog ears. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I getting these dog ears? I said, I can't do this. And I quit. And so, yeah, dog ears on my half square triangle made me quit, because there was no YouTube. There was nobody to tell me that's natural. You're going to have dog ears on every half square triangle, and you need to cut them off. Wilda, hi, from Williamsburg, Virginia. You sent me some buttons yesterday. I hope you will like them. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I will. Got this whole jar waiting for all your buttons. I like the sewing channel, Melanie. Tracy says, I'm going to England, Europe sometime soon. I hope to have I know I have deep English roots. I want to mudlark on the Thames. Molly, Moxie. Hi, Barry. Got a sewing electrical question. My sewing room is in the darkest corner of the house. What permanent lighting solution would you recommend? Well, as you can see here, I haven't figured that out yet, but I definitely recommend LED. VRSM. I would recommend LED. I guess this all depends on how much light you want. I've got this little round light that I'm using, and that's the only really light I have in here besides the one on the camera. I've thought about getting one of these standing lights. I was thinking about putting can lights in, but I just don't want to do that. I saw VRSM. You're from Chillicothe. I used to work at Chilpeco, if you know where Chilpeco is. Hi, Catherine. TS, hello, Barry from Oregon. Awesome. I promise the next time I do this, I'll be better organized. Marine. Hi, Barry. I finally got my button in the mail yesterday. Woo! I tell you, my post office is going to they're probably going to send the inspector down to, well, why is he getting all this mail? But I love it. Send it down. I thought that was a good way to give back to the community, and hopefully it wouldn't cost very much for you to send the buttons. It costs nothing for me to put them up there, but I think it's a great idea to share memories together. I love reading them. If you could tell in the last video, I'm not very good at reading them. I'm going to get this wrong. I'll just say Diamond Painting. Hi, Diamond Painting from Australia. Awesome. I love you. One of my favorite channels I like to watch is William Sews. If you ever watch him, I think he does the best blocks that I've seen. I just like the way he does it. What are you doing with the buttons? Catherine asked that. Catherine, I'm putting them in this jar right back here, and I would call it the Memory Maker's button jar. And every time someone sends me a button, I hope that they send a little note of what that button represents, because it can represent the favorite trip they had. A favorite memory that they've had. It doesn't have to be, you can go to the store and buy a button. It doesn't have to be a button you've had around for 100 years or whatever. You just go to the thrift store and get a button. I don't care. But I just want it to represent some memory or some goal that you have for the future. And that's what we're doing with the buttons. We're going to fill that jar up. Molly, I got a button from Texas today. That's probably not yours. Did I answer your question, Catherine? It was just an ideal. I didn't even know if you guys would even want to send buttons, but I enjoy opening them up. I enjoy sharing. You know, let me go back to this point about the channel. I found out there are so many people that, like me, have been depressed. When you retire, let me get into this. When you retire, everything, if you look in life, through my whole life, everybody talks about saving for a 401k, what to do to lead up for a retirement. But there's hardly nothing after retirement. They just sort of send you out with the cattle and go, there you go, be free. And I think that leads to a lot of depression, you know, because it did me, because I was all gung-ho when I retired, and I was like, oh, look, I'm going to do all these things. And, you know, one day leads into the next, and the next thing you know, a year goes by, and you're going, what am I doing? What's my purpose? You know, I have no purpose in life, and I think I'm just waiting around to die. And so here's a little fun fact. So blessed by Jess. How you doing? Here's a little fun fact. If you go to a channel called Grave Concerns, don't go there now, Grave Concerns, I was, and I do, clean headstones, a lot of military headstones, especially like Civil War headstones that are all moss or algae covered. Catherine, I'm going to give you my P.O. box here in a minute. Hold on. Let me finish a thought, because I get sidetracked so much. So anyways, I was cleaning these headstones, and it started getting cold out. And this chemical is the same chemical that you use at Arlington Cemetery. And it only works at above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So by the end of September, I was done, and there was nothing to do. So I quit making videos on that channel for the winter, and I was like, I need something to occupy my time before I go crazy. And I started, I made a list. I'm big on lists. I made a list of everything that I wanted to do in life, and I was like, thank you, Mona. I made a list of everything I want to do in life, and one thing I was like, you know, I've always wanted to take up quilting, no matter how stereotyped it is. I want to do it, and so I did, and I didn't know how you people would react to it, and it's been pretty good. Um, Let me go back here. Oh, Wilda, it's amazing how many memories came flooding into my mind as I looked through my buttons to find one or three to send you. You had such a great ideal. Thank you. And you know what? If you want to send one for your kids and you've got 4 or 5 kids, you can send a button for each one of them. I want them to have some kind of meaning to you why you send those buttons. Um, Cynthia, yes, I agree. I found places to volunteer. That brings another thing up. I had no idea how many of you make quilts and give to charity. That is fantastic. I'm going to start doing that. Um, there's a lady, and I think her channel is, oh, I know it. Hold on, let me look here. Oh, here it is, subscriptions. Oh, she is I think it's Dawn at the Lake. Anyways, Dawn at the Lake is starting to do sort of like this. She's collecting blocks. If you want to, I'll link later on. I'll link a link to her channel. She's going to start accepting people to send her blocks that she can make quilts out of and give to children or young adults that are waiting for organ transplants. I think that's a great idea. Hey, Mary Beth, I didn't see you pop in there. Yeah, you know what? I figured at 61, I'm too old to really care if anybody cares that I quilt. I'm not afraid of that stereotype. You can say what all you. I tell you though, well, my family rolls their eyes when I talk about quilting, but let me preface that. I have started and stopped so many things. I think a lot of my family members were just saying, oh boy, here we go again. So I think it was one of the wait and see type of deals when they were rolling their eyes. Connie's going to make small quilts and give out the veterinarian emergency group. Did I say that right? Veterinarian emergency group. Yeah. Oh yeah, Ragdoll Alley. Yeah. I I actually had to go out to the American Legion for breakfast once in a while, and a guy told me, he says, "You know Barry Quilts." So, hey Julie, I think she said she would accept any kind of block. Just try to. She just hopes that it's not over a 12-inch block and that it's sort of squared up so that she can quilt it. Linda, I think that'd be an awesome idea. And fire department, and Scribble says fire departments appreciate if you give them quilts. Hey Norma, Marine, my dad enjoys seeing the things I make, but then he says I wish I had a hobby. Makes me sad. I don't know how to take that one. That would make me feel bad too. Hey Emily, how you doing? So what are you guys doing tonight? Anything? I know you weren't waiting around for me. I'm just glad to see you all in here. So blessed by Jess. My mom is a quilter but refuses to watch my channel or want to do anything with it. Took a while to accept it. I sort of know what you mean. Did I tell you about my candle hobby? My daughter wanted to, the mother of the heathen child, she wanted to start making candles. And I told her, I said, you know what? Let's do that. I'll help you start making candles. So I went out and bought all this candle supplies, all the little heater and the spatulas and everything, all the jars. And then when I tried to get her to come down to make the candles, she said no. She didn't have time. So me and my son, who's now 32, we ended up making candles. So there's another thing I never thought I would ever do. But yeah, I went from making candles to making quilts. I don't consider myself a quilter yet. Although I will tell you, that big quilt that I've been working on, I got all the borders done last night. And when we get done here, I'm going to go sandwich it. And the last video I showed you me meandering. I think I'm just going to straight line stitch it. So I'm going to finish that thing off. And then let me see here. I bought this fabric yesterday. I bought some more of that nautical fabric, but in a blue. I bought some more of the white, and I bought a gray. And I'm going to make a table runner with it. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Yeah, Judy, it's another expensive hobby that me and my son have together. I think, like I said, I think that's why everybody rolls their eyes at me. I also went into birdhouse making at one time, but truth be told, I don't like my table saw. I'm sort of scared of it. I know too many people that have lost fingers. I don't know very many people that have lost fingers from a needle. So hey, the Midwest seller, you like that fabric? Uh, Barb, I don't know about that. She says your first quilt was 100% better than my first quilt. I could point out probably 30 things wrong with it, but I was surprised. And I did learn something when I did this one here, um, to starch before I cut, because I do think that starch shrank my fabric, and that's why I had more problems with this little wall hanging than I did with that whole quilt. Julia, we'll see. I've seen that. I don't know how to share photos, but I'm going to show you what I wanted to do with that table runner. Let me ask you this while I got you here. I found out, even like doing this queen size um, quilt, there is no specific dimensions. You would think that it's 90 inches wide by 108 or whatever. So there would be some set dimension, but I found out there isn't any. And then so I started looking at these table runners, and the same thing. There is Dubravka. Did I get that right? I know I messed that up. Hello from Canada. We love Canada. But anyways, there's no set length and table runner. So do you guys have a suggestion how long and wide I should make a table runner? I'm thinking right now about 3 feet by maybe 14 to 16 inches. Does that sound right? Hey Peppers, three pair less buttons, one with a good memory. All right. I know I messed that up. Mona, I think that's the way to go, is starch before you cut. I'm learning. As long as your table. Well, guess what? I don't have a table. I've been remodeling this house. My kitchen is a disaster, but I'm going to gut it this spring and I'm going to put an island in. Oh, thank you for liking the video. The crafty Etsy. Esty. Lana, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak over and measure my mom's table, and then I'll make one for her. And if you notice in my video, when you wouldn't maybe notice, when I first started making my videos in my living room, I don't have a coffee table because every coffee table I had turns into a junk table. And I thought, well, if I don't have a table, there's nothing to set junk on. I don't know. Scribbles, you got to do something. I figured table runner was the next. You know what? I made this queen sized quilt, and that's probably a mistake to try to do as one of my first big projects. I probably need to do some more wall hangings, but I was trying to get some ideals. I need to practice binding. So, you know, I got those pot holders. I thought about, oh, let me show you all this. I have tons of this ironing background fabric I bought. So I'm going to make some pot holders. Let me show you this here. Oh. You know, I had this wool pad, and the problem with the wool pad is that heat gets through there. So I made this the other day, which is, you know, basically the same size as, a little bit larger than my wool mat to set down. And it was a inside out, and I hope I'm explaining that right. Basically, I put the two pieces of fabric facing each other, sewed all the way around it except for one end, then reached in and pulled it through, and then sewed the other end. I like that. No binding. Placemats will help me. I made one of those. I think I showed that in a video. Melanie, I've got over here, I bought another 37-inch IKEA, what do they call them? I want to turn that into a ironing station, but I think even with this mat, it's going to be too hot, so I'm going to get a piece of plywood cut for it. Mona, I've seen those mug rugs. Oh, Wilda, where's your buddy Steve? And Scribbles, I'm not genius. Steve, here. There's the people that didn't see you before. Come on. Yeah, Brett. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, Steve. You're a good boy. Yeah. You're a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. All right. Go lay down. No more treats. Go. Go lay down. Now he's waiting for a treat. Melanie, that's what I need to do, but I'm trying to get, I thought about, I saw somebody use some, I think it was, is it Jen with Missouri Star? She used underlayment way back in one of her old videos. I'm going to have to go to the hardware store and look. I don't want to spend $50 for a piece of plywood. Yeah, Joyce, he does. He ain't got no choice. Well, they got that sort of Stockholm syndrome with him. He loves his captor. Cynthia, let me tell you this little story. I was living with a lady, and she may be watching this channel. Once in a while, she'll pop up and say something. But I had this lady living with me back in right before the pandemic, and her son had a his his dog had a litter of pups, and uh, we took in one of those pups, and we broke up, and I said, I'm keeping Steve. So I've had him for he's 5 years old now, so I've had him for 5 years. Robin, I've been thinking about that, especially thinking about these little wall hangings. If I do an inside out on them, or this runner. Nina, you hand quilt. I really admire that. I don't have the patience to hand quilt. Yeah, Scribble's just a man and his dog. That's a good idea, Melanie. Went through her nephew's garage and got the wood. Hey, peepers. Hi from San Diego. I've never been to San Diego. Been to LA. Been to Santa Monica. I've been all over California. Hey, bye, Mona. I'm going to probably go too. I just wanted to see if this worked. Um, I really appreciate you guys. Hey, XO, Quilts and Chocolates. Quilts and Chocolates, how you doing? Oh, hey, Maria from Uruguay. Awesomeness. Well, guys, I'm probably going to let you go. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. This was my first live. Evidently, it worked. We'll see. After this is over with, I'll put the P.O. box down in the description of where you can send the button. Like I said, just send a button in an envelope. Send a little note. You don't have to be fancy about it. Just tell me what it represents. I'll read the note. I'll only read your first name, your city, state, or country. Try not to give out any personal information because I learned from my stalker not to do that. And thank you, Mary Beth, the Midwest Seller, Linda, Lana, Cynthia, Joyce. I will see you, like I said, Thursday. I'm going to try to put a video out of opening up the rest of the buttons, and I look forward to receiving yours. And until then, let's see. I don't even know how to end this stuff, but we'll see. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.